The story of Shingeki no Kyojin is going very, very well. I really like the way the story is progressing. I especially love this episode because we got to see the side characters a lot more, which is something we haven't gotten since I believe like episode 4, more or less. And when I say side characters, I mean Sasha, Connie. Like get more development from their part. And so what I'm going to be doing for this review, it's not going to be a standard review. I'm going to be just making some points about the episode, and yeah, just not going through everything that happened, just making my points. I'm all about the points. First of all, Annie going off to join the military police is weird as hell to me. Especially because she was the one who talked to Eren, I believed it was episode 4, or it could have been episode either 3 or 4. And she was the one who got Eren thinking about, hey, don't you think it's kind of a contradiction that these guys, like, they train their ass off to get stronger, and yet they go further inside the walls. They don't go and fight the Titans. This episode sort of like just highlights Marco's importance in terms of like Jean's motivation and why he ends up deciding to join the Survey Corps, even though, oh, well, first of all, he knows he's not the strongest member. He doesn't have that drive that Eren has to kill the Titans. But he does realize that I think that's where he could help the most. So when I'm watching the scene after Erwin gives his speech, and by the way, my opinion, Erwin telling those people about the plan, about, hey, we need to go to Eren's basement, to me that was a fuck-up, like a strategic fuck-up. I mean, because from last episode, we already know that there's some shady stuff going on. You know, somebody killed those Titans, and Armin even opens up the episode by saying, whoever killed those Titans ended up helping the Titans because the humans didn't learn jack squat. So that's kind of a weird thing for Erwin to just be saying, hey, you know what, we need to go to the basement because we can learn stuff about the Titans. That was a public statement, and so maybe somebody who wasn't supposed to hear that or isn't trustworthy heard that, and then that could go on and compromise the mission and completely screw it up. But anyway, going back to the point I was trying to make earlier, I was watching the episode with my little sister, and we're watching that scene where, you know, it turns blue and like all these just heaps and heaps of people GTFO. Like they're like, yeah, like I'm done, going home. They leave, and we're watching Jean or John have this inner struggle because he knows he's already made the choice. But it's really hard, like, when push comes to shove, it's, like, really, really hard to just stand and just say, you know, this is what I'm going to dedicate my life to, because this is a life-threatening career. And then we see Sasha and Connie and that little blonde chick who I don't know her name, and we see the people just leaving because I think Erwin said that about 30% of them would be dead if they stayed. And my little sister turns to me and she's like, what would you have done? And so, well, first of all, I said, well, I would choose the job in which I could be of more service. The job that allows me to help more people, that's the job according to my abilities, obviously. And that's kind of like how real life is, right? And my choice, if I were in the Shingeki no Kyojin world, would be to sit in a room and record myself reviewing Shingeki no Kyojin. But on a serious note, I think that's a really good question, and it's kind of impossible not to think about that. Like, which of the 3 forces would you end up joining? And I thought about it, and I'm like, well, see, here's the thing. If one of my family members, if I had a loved one that was eaten by a Titan, you bet your ass I'm going to be on the Survey Corps. There's no ands, ifs, or buts, because that's just the way I am. But that's a question for you guys to think about, and for you to answer by yourself. Once a story starts making you ask these type of questions to yourself about what type of person you are, I think that is a really, really valuable story. So yeah, props to the episode for doing that. Also, they get their cloaks. Their wings of freedom, as one of the kids staring out the window at Eren calls them. They are freedom fighters, fighters for the freedom of humanity. So they open up the gate, and the cavalry starts charging in. And I cannot wait for next week's episode. That being said, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode because not only was it good build-up, it was also good character development for the side characters, especially for Jean. And then also, I think it connected with me on a very human level, and I really did appreciate that. And the music, you know, when they're gearing up with their new cloak or whatever, they look like superheroes. I really thoroughly enjoyed this episode. That's all I gotta say. Rate the review, subscribe if you haven't. Thank you for watching. Bye.